In our last video, we briefly mentioned some risk factors that could contribute towards an individual experiencing poverty. Today, we'll expand upon that by taking a look at specific groups of individuals who may be at a higher risk of becoming impoverished. This is the Vision for Life Foundation. Imagine if you could know when an individual would be most at risk of experiencing poverty. Imagine if, based on the presence of risk factors in their current lifestyle, you could prevent them from being in poverty altogether. Now, if we wanted to help bring this into reality, we'd need to look into how people fall into poverty in the first place. Therefore, we want to have a look at which groups of individuals are, statistically, most at risk of experiencing poverty in comparison to the rest of the population. Of course, groups of people who fall under certain categories aren't completely homogeneous either, and this is definitely something to keep in mind. However, it will at least give us an idea of where poverty seems to lurk the most. So let's get into some statistics. In a 2007 study by the Economics Research Center of the University of Cyprus, pensioners were most likely to experience poverty, although this trend was decreasing. Specifically, 45.7% of households with retired couples were reported to be below the poverty line. This number jumps to 62.1% when looking at single pensioners. The other most vulnerable group the researchers found were single-parent families, of which 37% were in poverty. Unlike with pensioners, these percentages were trending upward. Keeping in mind that this study was done in Cyprus using data from 1991 to 2003, let's see if these factors and trends are comparable to modern-day Canada. According to a non-profit called Canada Without Poverty, we see that about 15% of individuals with disabilities are in poverty, 59% of them consisting of women. As well, the amount of homeless individuals living with either a disability or a mental illness is estimated to comprise about 45% of the total homeless population. About 21% of single mothers experience poverty while raising their children, as opposed to 7% of single fathers. Finally, 1 in 5 racialized families live in poverty, whereas 1 in 20 non-racialized families do not. Now, among all the numbers that were just thrown at you, there is just one key takeaway to keep in mind. No matter how obvious it may seem, poverty clearly does not have an equal likelihood of affecting everybody. Factors ranging from one's age to one's marital status can make a huge difference in terms of whether or not somebody experiences poverty. While we cannot causally link a factor with poverty, there are clear trends in that show how we as a society can concentrate our efforts to tackle poverty where it matters the most. At the very least, there needs to be awareness of the demographics that predispose someone towards poverty, because that starts conversations, and hopefully those conversations can start actions.